So yeah, creepily, I have been in the industry for about 15 years, which I don't know. It's seen some pretty big changes. So we've pretty much gone from this to this, which pretty much sums it up. So, I mean, dating used to be a place for desperados and individuals or couples sort of seeking, I guess, adult entertainment. It's a virtual way of throwing your keys in. And then a last resort for those who just couldn't find a partner through sort of work, family, friends, or at a bar. But it's obviously, it's another way now to meet people. It's just part of the genre of the younger generation. And it can potentially be a better way. You meet more people, and also you can add a lot of people to your little black book, if that's what you're into. So it's now not a question of whether you've actually tried online dating, it's what site you use and what you use it for. So you've definitely got more traditional sites such as eHarmony, which we claim is for bunny boilers. If you want to meet a bunny boiler, that's a good spot to go. Please don't tell them I said that, but RSVP is obviously a fantastic site. And then you've got the coming in of these apps, pure app-based technology. Happen is a location-based one, which could be described as a little bit creepy because it tracks your path of where people cross over. And Bumble and Tinder, of course, you've heard about. It is, everyone's trying to get into the industry. And as a great example, just before the Match Network, who own Tinder, floated about 2 years ago, they purchased a site called Plenty of Fish, which I'm sure you've heard of. Now, they purchased that for $575 million US. Just to let you know the facts of that, it had one shareholder who was 36 years of age, and we believe it was bought on a multiple of 13, so pretty good numbers. Hopefully that happens to RSVP one day. That'd be great. So sites have tried to cater for everyone. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, I believe the niche factor has just gone way too far with dating. And here's sort of 4 what I call extraordinary attempts at niche sites, and these actually exist. So the latest one is called Hater. So this actually takes your criteria and asks you to fill out things you hate, and you get matched on common things you hate. Now, I don't know, but that's for very optimistic people. I hate it. Now, the next one, smell dating. This actually exists. What you do on this site is you wear an article of clothing for a week. You go to the gym, you get your pheromones up, you then send it to someone who matches you. They smell it. If they like it, they'll send the same thing back, and off you go. grannyslappers.co.uk. I don't really know what to say about this, but it sort of speaks for itself. Just to let you know, this company also produced essexslappers.co.uk. Just a quick one on this site, it actually skyrocketed through the UK online charts because it got so much PR, and it actually made quite a bit of money, but then died. Now, next is my personal favourite, Dead Meat. Very clever name. This is for a site for morticians and people in the death industry. So as you can see, the industry continues to become super competitive. And obviously, everyone's heard of Tinder. There's a lot of market share taken up by Tinder. The question for us is Tinder bringing people into the market that otherwise wouldn't use online dating? And does that benefit all dating companies in the long run? The jury's probably still out on that one. But it's definitely done some damage to the industry, damage to other entities. So I guess how has Tinder affected and other competitors affected RSVP? Well, interestingly, it's caused us all in the industry to get an identity of where we fit in the market. RSVP's a very resilient brand, and previously we could do any form of advertising, like have a inflatable purple balloon float off in the sky, and people would join. Because RSVP was the site to join. It was where you try online dating. And of course, it's majority owned by Fairfax, and right now, who wouldn't trust Fairfax, of course? So we're pretty pigeonholed now with all this new apps. And we're pretty perceived to be, for serious daters, in the older demographic. People may not use it because they think they might find their friend's mum on it. I think Stifler's mum's been on it quite a bit, which is good. So what's it forced us to do? Well, we have to move with the times. We have to get into the app space. People want simplification. They want ease of products. They want instant results. RSVP and Oasis merged about 3 years ago, and that's given us some kind of scope and economies of scale to be able to compete with these giants coming into the market. So I guess it's also led to us to try and understand our members more. What are they doing on the site? We need to ask ourselves, are we offering the best service still for our market? And we know there's a lot of businesses that are really going through this change. So we've been diving deeper into our members, and it's led to some pretty interesting discoveries. So people used to turn to online dating sites to be matched with people based on what they thought was their ideal mate. Things such as eye and hair colour and height were deemed to be very important. However, recently our worst fears as a heritage matching brand were confirmed, and the first results of the in-depth study that was conducted found that our users actually have no fucking idea what they want. Last year, researchers from Queensland University of Technology approached RSVP. They analysed a whole lot of contact information. They were professors, Professor Stephen White and Benno Torgler. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. These are two behavioural economists, and they conducted a study titled Preference versus Choice in Online Dating. So the study saw the pair analyse the contact behaviour of more than 41,000 RSVP users over a 4-month period, and they were 18 to 80 in the age bracket. So they actually analysed 219,000 successful contacts. So that's people communicating with people on the RSVP website. So it's a fair chunk of data. And yes, the study told us that most daters are reaching out to those who bear absolutely no resemblance to the characteristics they say they want in an ideal partner. So what does this mean for us? Well, obviously we have to adapt to that. So luckily we've also got another engine called Discover, and it serves users potential dates from our system based on data from previous successful members, contacts and conversations. So it's a little bit like Amazon, sort of customers who bought this item also bought this. Just like to add a note there that we don't treat our customers like books most of the time. So Discover is a very powerful tool, and it's becoming a big part of our site. However, from a marketing perspective, you can't really tell people they actually don't know what they want, particularly when they're coming to join a site and wanting to be matched. So the challenge is really, how do we get that message out there? And maybe it's just offering people some assistance, that we can offer them some assistance. Second part of the study, I like this one. This found there is also biological factors at play when daters are choosing a partner. This chart here has got pickiness on the left and age on the bottom axis. So this is going to answer some questions. I hope there's some couples here because they might fight on the way home, but 40 is the crossover point. Men start getting pickier at 40. Women start getting less pickier. Let's sum that up. Maybe a bit harshly, but we'll sum it up. Younger age women are wanting to pick the perfect specimen to breed with. Then, when the biological clock starts ticking, it causes panic. And it's a take anything that moves attitude. Otherwise, they will miss out. For men, they chase anything with a heartbeat or good handwriting when young. However, 40 is where they've realised their earning potential and start to have higher expectations. So basically, when men reach 40, they've bought their red Ferrari and their standards go up. And this just increases the older they get. Very interesting study. So, just moving on to mobile, I guess mobile is sort of, obviously, we're not going to sit here and talk about how mobile's impacted everyone because everyone knows that, but how has it impacted dating? It has changed the way people date. I guess it's now all about the photo for people. There's filters out there, there's great technology on smartphones that take good quality photos. And this is probably the main thing you get judged on, if not the only thing. And for the younger generation, if you don't have a photo on your profile or have a poor quality one, you've just absolutely got no hope. The other factor is if you don't appeal to someone straight away, these apps make it so easy for you to just swipe or whatever and move on to the next one that you often do and you just never come back. So basically, as consumers, we're becoming highly impatient and a lot shallower. I mean, to be honest, RSVP is behind a little bit in its app experience, and it's something we're busy working on. But you have to understand there's a legacy. RSVP is 20 years of age this year. And it's a lot harder to actually build an app with a legacy than just starting with a pure mobile play and starting from scratch. So that's the challenges we face. I mean, remarkably, in all those challenges, we still have 38% of our over 55 crowds join and use the site on mobile. So it's quite big, particularly since I've been giving my mum mobile support for 10 years, and I don't know how they do it. So we've got to face the toughest decision over the next 2 years. Do we use our resources to actually try and adapt RSVP to the market, or do we build a new product to capture a different slice of the market? And to be honest, we're probably heading towards the latter, the newer product. But that's a big project in itself. So it's very hard to keep up with dating. All the terms, everything that's going on, new sites, smell dating. For example, right now you go on a Tinder date. I mean, no one had heard of a Tinder date 10 years ago. The expectation of a Tinder date is you finish the night with a shag. I wish I was a bit younger. But... Speaking of shagging, it wouldn't be a sex talk if I didn't give you a few sort of key stats. Now we often do surveys, and these are some stats that came out of our 2016 survey. So 43% of single Australians have had an unprotected one-night stand. Terrible. Some guilty faces out there too. 25% of single Australians would like to be having sex twice a week. The key phrase here is would like. Maybe we should ask these people the same question when they have been married for 10 years. Because I'm pretty sure they'd still want to be having sex twice a week, but maybe not with their partner. God, I'm bitter, sorry. And the last stat I find astounding, which is 39% of single Australians have faked an orgasm. I was actually going to make a joke here, where I went, make that 40. But my marketing team banned me, but I got away with it. Thank you very much.